Konnichiwa, bitches. It's 1:30 in the morning and I'm doing a scene. What the fuck is wrong with me? Either way, tonight's scene starts in the presence of one Pink Fox, the thrashing dragon whom has been quite, shall we say, active as of late in the month of December. OOC reasons are what they are, but in-character reasons, she's recently got her hands on some very compromising footage of a certain naughty pair of little devil tigers. And, well, first thing she needs to do is just take a look at this particular footage. You know, whichever medium is appropriate.
Okay. And then, because they got it accessed, just a simple intelligence computers roll, just because the info's probably encrypted even after they got it downloaded.
No, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you see it's one, it is a clip that has it shows along a hallway, so you can see a couple individuals coming up the hallway and their backs to the camera with some firearms, and they look like they're getting ready at the far end of the hallway to enter the room. And as they do so, one of them's got a pistol, two had shotguns. Within very short period of time, a total of 3 figures come bursting into the hallway through the doorway, and summarily just totally destroy these guys. They're seem to be very highly skilled martial artists, and after dropping them, 2 of the figures pounce on what you easily recognize as feeding off of their lifeblood, and then get up, grab the weapons that the guys in the hallway were carrying, and then as they're walking back down the hall to leave the building, you get clear shots of all 3 of their faces. Two of them you recognize as your 2 devil tiger acquaintances. The third individual,
naughty devil tiger acquaintances.
Well, if they weren't naughty, they wouldn't be devil tigers.
That is true.
And the third figure you don't recognize. It is the third Gaki is not somebody that you have encountered or seen. In the ordeal, it was not Fu, but the other 2 that did the feeding.
Is this third Gake, are they male, female?
They are male. Looks to be in their early-ish 20s as mortal. Dressed in simple, almost traditional clothing. Like it's not a modernist style by any sense. It is robes of some kind. It is common to see in Kyoto because of the highest tourist density, but it's not. He's not dressed as modernistic as the other 2.
Okay. And I'm presuming that the guns that everyone had are, well, I say native to Japan. They're kind of stuff that you'd expect police officers and people who are ne'er-do-wells to somehow get their hands on. They're not foreign.
You can do a perception firearms or perception streetwise.
Oh, again, this is going to be interesting. Oh, it is interesting.
Okay, which one of the 2 did you?
I don't have either, so.
Oh, okay. So with that success, they don't look anything fancy. They look something that you would assume would be common, probably from whatever cop movies that you have seen
Mm.
from China or Japan. So you're not really
Basically,
skilled enough to know, but
basically anything that's American derived or what have you. Because
yeah,
the Japanese, I know out of character that the Japanese police and the JSDF, they use a lot of American derived weaponry.
yeah, it's not, it wasn't
It's all natively made, you know, but they have
the
part of
style.
the post-war constitution dictates that the stuff that they make is not for export.
Yeah, and it's not like a Kalashnikov or an Uzi or anything like that. Like it's handgun and rifles. So,
Yeah. Okay.
um,
All right, that makes sense. Well, first and foremost, she's probably going to give Makoto a ring because, yeah, I was kind of suspecting this as such because I believe common sense will tell me that I can't, even though I do have some plans with this footage. The Pink Fox has plans with this footage. Sending it to the raw footage to a mortal, you know, with blatantly supernatural things happening, is not a very good idea. Especially
all
someone who we
right,
think is a hunter, potentially.
potentially. All right. After a few rings, he answers, "Yeah."
Mikado, I've got the footage. I'm just having a look at it now. It's really kinky, if you're into that sort of thing. Do you wanna come and have a look?
Uh, I can't make it over tonight, but sit on it. I'll come by maybe tomorrow. Uh, really obvious.
Yeah. Clear images of, you know, Fu, Kagome, and one other Gaki I don't recognize, but, you know, they've got to be another naughty devil tiger. You wouldn't happen to know much about editing footage, though, would you?
No, but check with one of the nerds. I'm sure that they could do something with it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Because, yeah, there's some pretty blatant feeding on this, and if what I'm thinking about this certain person is true, then yeah, that's probably not going to be too good for us.
Hmm.
Of course, we don't want it to be too good for, you know, the naughty devil tigers, but
All right. Well, yeah, I'll come by to take a look. Keep me in the loop on what you're using this for. Um,
I will. I will.
but you said very clear, so the people you got the footage from obviously have seen it.
Yeah. I'd assume so. Can I ask you a question? Who
Sure.
are the Kazuku Aka?
Let me just see exactly how much info he would have on them. Oh, that is 3-7. They're Yakuza wannabe. They're not. They haven't been accepted in the group of families that are known as Yakuza, but they're working their way to get in there. I'm not really sure what they've started out, where they started out, but they kind of got their fingers in a few pies. Uh, they'll hire local gangs to do some of the dirty work, and they're kind of spread over a few cities. So they're useful for money laundering if that's something that you need. That's where I've encountered them in the past, anyway.
Maybe. But I was thinking more something along the case of if they were to know, who caused them this much trouble, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would it be for them?
They would definitely, I'm sure, see this as a turf hit.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be out for blood. It's what I would do anyway. I can't imagine their ambitions are any less precise.
Mm. Well, guess that makes 3 copies of this once it's been sufficiently edited that we need to make.
Are you going to keep this a personal matter? Or are you planning on tipping off as a concerned neighbor?
I'll tell you in person.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. See you soon.
See ya.
And Big Fox will hang up the phone. Of course, waiting for Makoto, even though he said he'd come tomorrow, I think this is probably going to encourage him to make an early visit. She's going to be a little bit productive with her time. She'll probably send a text message to Falong 7. Basically just saying, was the operation last night adequate in performance with regards to Yoshi and Musashi? That's nice.
Yes. Well done.
Do you consider them worthy additions to your cause? Would you consider them, should I say?
They both have appeared in my purview previously. I am aware of them. They are satisfactory.
Were their efforts to clean up after themselves, to cover their tracks, sufficient?
I do not know at this time.
I will approach them at a later date to ask if they would like to form a wu. I am certain they would be honored to have such a noble spirit as their patron.
I have heard of such negotiations that have been successful for others. This sounds acceptable.
I am pleased. And yep, send. And now we'll either wait for Makoto to show his face, or we'll start to.
Yeah, I think you got a valid point there that the specifics of what you had mentioned. He messages you a couple hours later that he moved some things around and can come by tonight.
Okay. And presumably she'll hear a knock at the door and might open the door. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. Come on in. And she'll open the door for him, step out of his way, allow him to take off his shoes, etc.
So where's this dirty movie you said you got?
Close the door. Walk this way. She'll lick her finger, point it up kind of like that, and escort him to her little laptop in her gaudy pink room, which is about as pink can be. If pink was able to cause epilepsy, yeah, yeah. I think I showed you that image, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks like that. And she'll like bring up to her laptop, and she'll start the footage again, press play, probably let him sit down, like adjust it however much, enlarge it full screen and all that jazz. Okay, that one. And then she points to the one with the orangish hair. I presume that's Kagome. That one's Fu, and I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Wow, so they've got another plaything with them, do they?
Maybe they're just some poor sap that they just, roped into it without them realizing.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't really know what's going on. So
Yeah, I think
maybe they found a youngin.
Yeah, either that or they just like kidnapped him from some hotel, before he got changed. Or
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, he seems to be even more wet behind the ears than Kagome. So
Yeah.
just the way he looks and kind of stands, you can see actually he'll tap on the computer a bit and get it to scroll back. He's like right about, and then he pauses right there. You see the way his movements are. He is fighting against his Poe. And it looks like he manages to win, but very barely. He's not very skilled or not used to utilizing his strengths without the penalties.
Yeah. I think that may be a sign of a bad teacher.
Yeah. We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah.
But they definitely have made these three.
Mm-hmm. Well. And Pink Fox will actually sit right next to Makoto at that point, sat up on the bed, kicking her legs back and forth, somewhat, I say somewhat childishly, but, cute, adorably, cutely, whatever. So, do you want to hear my plan?
Yes. What are your intentions?
I can see 3 people that we can send these to. First one is a priority because I think I know something about them and I just want to test to see if it's true. Firstly, we need to edit this footage so obviously it takes away from, the supernatural aspects of it, just to be safe. We then send copy number 1 to Captain Wakahisa of the Kyoto Police Department. The reason why we send it to him is because each and every time that a weird case has come up in Kyoto, he's always the one to get himself involved in it. And not only that, but he seems to have a background that suggests that he might not. How can I say this? He might know more than he lets on. I think he may either be a hunter, she, demon hunter. Maybe not the traditional demon hunter, but obviously someone in the know. Or he's in the pocket of one of the local elders. They're using him to clean up indiscretions.
Hmm.
Of course, this is just a theory. I don't have any real proof as of yet. But he's active enough in these kinds of cases to the point where I do believe a little. We need to put a little bit of cheese in the mousetrap, and I think something like this would be perfect. if he covers up, if we send this to him directly, and he covers it up, he's a pawn. If he takes this stuff and he starts sending it out there, then he's obviously aware to some degree about what's going on. And either way, 24 hours later, the second and third copy, maybe the third one would be potential, but the second copy goes into the media, local media group, like, what's the one that I always watch? Oh, yeah. Manichi Broadcasting System Incorporated. Newspapers, television. Sure, you watch the news, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
We send it to them. So, if Captain Wakihisa doesn't release it to the press, we make sure that it gets out there. Because, if it bleeds, it leads. And the other one, third one, potentially here, we send a third copy to someone in the Kazuku Aka, and we give them Little Fu's name, where she works, anything that we can find about her.
I was going to question that. I'm like, isn't that who you got it from? But if you're going to tip off on who exactly it is they're looking for, it's potential.
Of course. That all depends on whether or not they're really capable of causing her problems. If they're not, we may as well just leave it to the police.
Well, I like your style on how to deal with this, Pink Fox. You've considered all possible ramifications of your plan?
If Captain Wakihisa is a pawn of the ancestors and he doesn't release it, then he probably will give the footage to whomever he is a pawn of. However, if we release it to the media and to the Kazuka Aka, it will basically it will expose him as a pawn, and it will also, well, his job was supposed to calm things out, to basically cover up indiscretions. By it being released, he fails in that regard. And if he's a hunter, well, there's plenty of free cheese in a mousetrap, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
As far as the Kazuka Aka, well, I imagine right about now, well, I imagine they'll probably wonder, how were these people able to get this footage? Why are they helping us? But more importantly, how were they able to break into our building without us knowing?
All good questions.
So, if we want their cooperation, we need to convince them with our actions that we're serious, and that any attempt to even the score, maybe, will be dealt with in the most severest of fashions. I would say, anyway. As far as the Manichi Broadcasting Corporation is concerned, well, like I said, we get rid of the supernatural aspects. It's not likely. It's likely to be a thing for them for a little while, but as soon as as soon as it's out there, it's out there. Some people are going to want to pay for blood, but if they don't, it'll go out there for a little while, circulate, and it'll get replaced by something else. But in between that time, I think it would be safe for us to keep mounting the pressure on Fu and on the authorities to do something about this. If they don't do anything about it, that reflects badly on them and on the chief of police, which reflects badly on the mayor, which means that investors in Kyoto will start to withdraw and take their money elsewhere, which will bring the economy of Kyoto down. Someone has to act against these villains. Otherwise, Kyoto stands to lose a lot more.
You dragons reach so far so fast, but I definitely like it. And I definitely agree. Let's keep the pressure going.
I do think, however, we need to make sure in this case, when we get these copies to these people, that we leave as little trace leading to us as possible. Which is where I think the idea of getting a few prepaid envelopes would be a good idea. And we send them by snail mail. And also we print out some little sticky note things to print the addresses on, so that everyone gets what they want without having to sign anything. Because handwriting, it's a thing.
That is true. Excellent. Excellent. This will work very well.
And I'm pretty sure, if we really need to, I know a certain spirit that we could probably use their assistance in order to, make it a lot harder to trace electronically or spiritually or anything like
that. Perhaps. I don't deal with the spirits too much myself. They don't really, usually their needs and opinions do not coincide with mine. But if you've got that handy, go for it.
Okay. So.
Excellent. This is going to work out perfectly then. All right. Well, I've got a few things on the go as well, perhaps that I can utilize to help you put some pressure where the pressure is needed. Mm-hmm. And if we get to the point that Kazoku Aka needs to have a discussion, I would be more than happy to offer my assistance in those negotiations.
Maybe you should do the negotiations in the club, just to make sure.
All right. If we get to that point, if they don't necessarily need, if we can keep their attention on Fu and Kagome and this third Gake and not us, then just let them deal with each other.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to say. I don't think the Devil Tigers are really loyal to each other. It may be an idea to divide and conquer, if it comes to that point anyway. If they do end up uniting with each other, they made their choice. But
that may be your purview, or if any of the nerds know them. I've not actually had the pleasure yet to deal with any of them one-on-one. So my opinion of them is not fact-based at this point.
I think that's about all that I needed to say. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how pleased are we?
I think our relationship is definitely upgrading to a more professional than just simple conversations. This is very much mutually beneficial at this point.
Fist bump.
Keep it up.
So, what do I get as a reward? Are we going to keep me waiting until Christmas?
You know what? This is really good intel. Is there any intel that? Trying to think if there's anything that I know that I can pass on for you. What I can do, I can transfer some funds for you, pay you for this information at this point.
Wow. Thanks.
No, this is damn good information, and you're correct. This is beneficial for both of us, so this is business. And if you are serious about becoming a mover and shaker in Kyoto, then we need to make sure we are on the right footing. He pulls out his phone as he's talking, and he's like moving around. I guess I can't really. He was blocking my phone, but he's moving around and gets the information he needs from you, so he can wire you some funds for the for that intel. Yeah, keep it up. If this works out well, then I'll hopefully have some additional information that I can trade for information next time. But for the time being, hopefully money will be good enough for you.
Hmm. Well, do you want me to walk you to the door?
Sure.
And Pink Fox will probably like wrap one arm around, or both her arms around his arm, and like escort him to the door, let him put his shoes on, and then open the door for him and wave him goodbye.
And yeah, he'll take off. He'll go the opposite direction down the hallway from the direction that he had arrived at. And yeah, he takes off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Okay.
Nope. You. What's next on her agenda?
We're going down that same route before, aren't we? With that same joke as before.
All right. And if that is seen, this has been a lot of activity, and starting to see if quite a few more things start to fall into place. Set up the dominoes, and hopefully none fall on her fingers as she's flicking start the chain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the meantime, guys, sayonara.
Sayonara.